All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
This is 8-year-old Brady Novean. Brady has been affected by a rare form of dwarfism called metatrophic dysplasia. This disability is so rare that there have been less than 100 documented cases in medical history.
We talk about a family tradition.
This form of dwarfism affects the individual's growth, creating a short stature and short arms and legs. Brady was diagnosed with metatrophic dysplasia at only 16 months old. But since he has always known life with this disability, he has learned how to overcome it on a daily basis.
Hey, Brady, come do your homework, babe.
The Brady way.
Do I have to do it?
Well, I mean, as a parent, you never want your child in pain, but it's that balance between, doing what your child needs, what your child needs. I mean, he needed the surgery. His back was so hunched over. I mean, he was so hunched over forward that his rib cage was actually overlapping, and then that was affecting his heart and lung development. So, it's not a function of what you want as a parent, but what you need to do and what you have to do. And so, it's hard seeing your child in pain or, hanging from metal traction and all of those kinds of things. But, in the long run, I mean, to improve his quality of life long term and to make sure that his heart and lungs develop properly, that's, it's what you had to do. Once Brady got to be about 6.5, Dr. McKenzie let us know that, it was time. His spine was just so curved at that point and so misshapen. He was afraid that it was going to start putting pressure on his actual spinal cord and affecting his neurofunction, his nervous system. So we scheduled the appointments at the end of his 2nd grade year, right after he turned 7. We flew to Delaware and did, it's a 2-part surgery, but basically, we put the rods in at that point.
Here we go. So Brady has a genetic abnormality, and it's in a gene called TRPV4. And it results in the formation of bones, which are different from yours and mine. He has shorter bones. The bones are wider around the joints, and the vertebral bodies that make up his spine are very flat and narrow, and there's a very narrow spinal canal. And that results in an individual that's short and can have quite severe spine deformity and problems with short limbs as well as joint abnormalities. There's a wide variation of severity. So some of these kids can have very few problems, and some can have many problems that make it difficult for them to walk.
Despite Brady's disability, he still loves participating in outdoor activities. One of his favorites is hiking at the local climbing trails.
When I started hiking, I was like 6 or 7. It was like 5. I was like 5 or 6, and my dad took me to Vasquez.
We'll go out to Vasquez Rocks and try to climb up to the top of the rocks. We'll go to Whitney Canyon and walk around Placerita Canyon and see the stuff. And so he's been a lot better, I think, since his surgery. It's one of the things I think before he was pitched over so much that his legs would get tired a lot more often. But I would say since he's had his surgery, like he's really keeps up with me. He'll do 3-4 miles, no problem.
Like I kind of like going along trails because they have a lot of them, and the last trail I went on wasn't that long, but it was kind of long. And I like to look for animals and like climb things. It's kind of like Vasquez Rocks. It's like my favorite hiking place because it has a lot of rocks that you can climb.
It's not what he can't do. It's always what he can do, right? You can go walking. We'll go for scooter rides. The stuff we do is to try to keep him moving, to try to keep Brady out there, and so certainly hiking, the swimming, and everything like that. Basically, he figures out a way to do anything, and so it's really weird because I think as a parent you stress like, oh my gosh, I'd love to carry the load for my son. I'd like to do this. I like to do that. And he's just happy. He doesn't know any better, right?
I will do my best.
I will do my best.
What's closer to you, number?
Ross and Tommy are both boys, and I like both of them because they're nice to me. Tommy doesn't go to my school, but Ross does.
Turn into TV.
Right.
So at the first day of Cub Scouts, my mom told me to look out for Brady, and I've been looking out for him ever since. I mean, I don't care that he's shorter than everybody. I won't judge him by that. No matter how tall you are, size matters not.
And how does metatrophic dysplasia help you get a lot of friends?
Well, it helps me get friends because, like, some kids think that, like, hey, that kid has a rare disease, why don't we go be friends with it?
What's the best thing about having metatrophic dysplasia?
Being special.
The kids are smart. They are capable of functioning in this society.
Brady's one of my really top achieving students. He's nothing different. The only physical difference is his chair. That's it. Other than that, you kind of forget he's different at all. I mean, he's just like every other child in my class. He can do everything we do. He does it to the best of his ability. He's a great student. If he can't do something, he never once complains. He always does everything that he's asked. And he just sort of adapts it to what's comfortable for his back and his body. And he just adjusts it in like the Brady fashion.
Brady, Novean, and his family overcome adversity on a daily basis, but they never let it get them down. Indeed, they can't do things like other families normally would, but instead they find a new way, a better way, the Brady way.